to the reaction show. I am your host, CK, also known as Commendable K. Welcome. Please make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell, thumb up the video on the way out, share to all your social media, including your YouTube community tabs and beyond. So the inspiration for this show is a comment I got under one of my videos, in that someone asked, has social media ruined us as a people?
What? What the fuck?
And my answer is no. And the reason why I say the answer is no is because social media hasn't made us worse. It's just allowed us to be more of who we are, especially publicly. So I don't think that social media is a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. It's a tool, just like a hammer can be used to hang up a picture. It can also be used to take out one of your friends, or one of your fake friends, that is. And I think that's the same situation that we're getting with different celebrities on social media. And to emphasize my point, I want to use Tia Mowry. So Tia recently served divorce papers to her husband, Corey Hardrick.
Bruh.
We still don't know the reason why she filed for divorce, but I think I figured it out. Again. What if? All right, so all alleged. Time for the what if section. And this comes from a tweet that Tia Mowry put out. The making of this is November 3rd. She put it out yesterday, November 2nd. And it says, self-care isn't selfish. Now, if you've been rocking with me and listening to me for a while, then you know that I believe that greed is good, and so is selfishness. It's just that the way that people use it, that we have become accustomed to, is what makes it negative. So, for example, you could be greedy, and when you go to your job, you're wanting to make as much money as possible, even if they have to lay people off, even if they have to prevent people from getting raises, even if they close the doors at the job. And the reason this is a good thing is because if you are maximizing what you make at your job, you can have the maximized amount to give to your significant other and your children through paying bills or what have you. Because how can you give your children the world if you don't get it yourself first? And a lot of people have kind of tried to debate and discuss how I hear what you're saying, CK, but I hear what you're saying, but it's a lot of buts going on. But no one's understanding exactly what it means to give people the world. Because again, in order for you to give your children the world, you have to get it first. Same thing with being selfish. Being selfish with your time. Going back to the example of the job. If your job is like, we're shorthanded, we need someone to come in tonight. Can you come in? And you're supposed to be off. If you're selfish, you're focused on just yourself. Whatever you have going on, you're going to focus on putting that first because you're putting yourself first, not putting the job first. Being selfish. So selfishness, greed, a lot of other negative things have been synonymous with being negative, especially in America. Especially when it comes to fairy tales where there's the good guy and the bad guy, protagonist, antagonist. When it comes to storytelling, someone has to have the main character energy and everybody else is a supporting character, and the villain's the villain's supposed to lose. But what if in the story of life, in your story of life, you have main character energy, however, you you haven't laid out what type of goals you want to achieve in the end. If you have not laid out what goals you want in the end, then you're susceptible to put other people's goals before your own because you don't have any goals. I can't tell you how many times I've done consultation work or have just talked to someone in general, and I've asked them, what do you want? And they say they don't know. Or they throw out different ideas, but there's no clearly defined goal. They have different things they'd like to do, but they haven't picked something. And I think because of our inability to understand what we want and put ourselves first, that makes it to where you are last. So going back to Tia Mowry. So Tia's tweet says self-care isn't selfish. And I want to present the idea that Tia, it could be argued that she should get therapy, especially if she's unhappy in a relationship, including a marriage. But what if I were to tell you that Tia Mowry's self-care is divorce? Now you might say, well, that doesn't make any sense because that breaks up the family, that makes the children have to go to more than one house, especially for holidays. Divorce is always seen as negative. But if we look at divorce exactly how it is as a process, then we don't see it as negative. We see it as just a process. Because it's a process. Like I've said before in other content, the same way that abortion is a medical procedure, divorce is a process. It's just the way that we view these things, especially when we have our own belief system. We may view divorce as negative, abortion as negative. We may even look at homicide as being negative. But homicide can be a good thing, especially if you're taking someone else out or deleting someone to prevent them from hurting another. That type of stuff does happen. So looking in the vein of things being tools and not a good thing or a bad thing, Tia engaging in self-care may have been getting divorced. She might have been unhappy. So below, this is Tia and Wendy Raquel. They're dancing and emphasizing, dancing and emphasizing.
Dancing and emphasizing and dancing
Yes.
You dancing and emphasizing. You dancing and emphasizing. You dancing
Yep.
and emphasizing. We dancing.
Yeah, they are dancing and emphasizing. And a lot of times, gentlemen, we get together for a guy's night out. We blow off steam. Women get together. They have a girls' night out or girls' night in. They drink together. They have fun. And sometimes when you get into a relationship or you get married, you don't really make time to hang out with friends and blow off steam. I do believe that it's healthy for people to get with coworkers and complain about the boss, complain about their job because they blow off steam. I think it's also good for couples to hang out with friends and family and talk crap about their kids, talk crap about their relationship and their marriage to blow off steam.
What? What the fuck?
And it's not to tell them your business, because of course you got to safeguard your business, but it's not to tell your business or to tell on yourself or to necessarily put anyone down, but the idea is to blow off steam. And I think what Tia was not getting was to be able to blow off steam. I believe that she tried to get it with Corey Hardrick. You've seen him in all of his pictures and all of his videos. He never smiles. It seems like he's never having a good time. It also seems like he's bothered most of the time. There's been times where even Tia's put on a fake smile, fake laugh. She's kind of played it up for cameras and for the fans. And Corey is just like, nope, I don't want to be here. I'd rather leave. And if someone is unhappy, you can't make them be happy. And I'm not saying the fake happiness, but if you're never seen it smiling, never seen happy, that might be your persona. That might be your personality, but somebody can only exist with that for so long to where they're like, this is not for me anymore.
You suck.
And they may want out. They may want out, and nothing wrong with that. I mean, when it gets to a point where Tia Mowry was having to schedule sex with Corey Hardrick, pretty much the relationship was heading to divorce, whether they realized it or not.
And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey.
Yes, and I think one of the outlets that Tia developed, since she couldn't talk to family necessarily because Tamara, she had her own marriage, her mother and father, they had their marriage. She couldn't talk to blogs, of course, couldn't talk to necessarily coworkers. There really wasn't anyone for her to talk to. So I think what Tia did was she created an alter ego. So people have said, hey, this is before Tia served them papers. They said, hey, Tia, stop the cap. We think you need to rethink your separation from Corey Hardrick. And I was one of those people. I was like, hey, you've been married a long time. If you guys should be able to work things out, unless someone betrayed someone else, and there wasn't any evidence of that. And she even shared something from the Third Eye Thoughts, a blog, a website, and it says, you look happier since you decided to let people lost you instead of begging them to choose you. And we don't know if Tia was necessarily sharing it because she was trolling her fans. I think she was trolling her fans.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's because she was referring to herself or if she was referring to Corey or just wanted to share it just to be sharing it. But it seems like she's been doing a lot of sharing lately and enjoying the attention that she's gotten from social media because everybody wants to know exactly why she's ending her divorce. This is the most popular that she's ever been. A lot of people don't even know that she actually has a cooking channel on YouTube. So since the announcement of her and Corey getting divorced, she's gotten attention, validation, and I believe this is the attention that she wanted, just like with Aisha Curry wanting attention. There's a lot of women who are becoming desperate housewives, so to speak. They're unhappy with themselves, their life decision. They're getting older, having somewhat of a midlife crisis, and they're either becoming thoughts on Instagram or they're getting a divorce. Whatever path that one takes, in a way, outside of getting actual therapy from a licensed clinician, if you need social media to be happy, if you need divorce to be happy, it's better for you to be happy, maybe even crazy by yourself, than in a home with a significant other and children, and you're making them crazy and sad while you're figuring your life out.
Got him! Got him!
Yeah, so your crazy self should be by yourself. And if it comes down to it, maybe there's nothing wrong with getting a dog and dying alone. Especially after the children become adults. You try to get back on the dating scene. People are blowing your back out, but you really are getting pumped and dumped. And that's the sad ending that most women get involved with, is only getting involved with guys who just want to be friends. They just want to come through for booty calls, or they're playing around, but there's not really anybody serious the older we get because most of the good ones are taken. That doesn't mean don't try or don't put yourself out there. Also, that doesn't mean leaving what you got going on, especially if you're not happy. It's just that most of the time when you go to a retirement home, the people who are in the retirement home, they're in a room by themselves. Most of the time when it's people who are older, they move back in or they move in with their children and they basically occupy a chair for the rest of their lives. Not all, but enough. Enough to make it a thing as far as this content. However, sometimes it's better to be alone and unhappy than with somebody and unhappier. Let that sink in. Because a lot of us, we may not have a choice. However, even though you may want to be with someone, you may want to share the rest of your life with someone, that someone that you should be sharing the rest of your life with could be the person in the mirror.
Don't save her. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her.
Yeah, so instead of trying to save or be saved, just save yourself and be happy by yourself. And I think it's a good lesson that we're learning from Tia. Because as time progresses on, I don't think the problem was Corey Hardrick, and a lot of you all don't think so either. Yeah, so a lot of fans have noted that there's a change in Tia since she announced the divorce. People have even said that they can see the shift in her spirit, and all this time you could see her shrinking in his presence. It did seem like he was not happy. He was having problems that he was or was not sharing, and it was affecting Tia, in my opinion. So she seems happier now that she's by herself. And some people have said that she's doing great, but other people who have criticized Tia's online behavior, Tia doesn't care. Tia doesn't care. They said since she's dropped the news of her marriage, she's been on social media doing a lot of posting. The same thing I've noticed. And one person wrote, if you not gonna tell us what happened, please stop throwing shade. We don't know what you're talking about. And another person added, I love Tia, but something tells me Corey wasn't the problem. I don't think a lot of times when women are leaving their marriages and relationships, the man is the problem. And you might say, well, what if he's cheating? What if he's doing domestic violence? What about this? What about that? Most of the time, women, even when they are in a toxic and dysfunctional situation, they stay. And the reason they stay is because the toxic and dysfunctional stuff becomes normalized, especially after they've been with someone for a long time. So it can't be that the man is doing something negative per se. I think the number one reason why women leave relationships, divorce, even cheat, is because they feel neglected and they're bored. Yeah, I think it's what happened with Tia. She was bored. She was bored. She was seeing her friends and other celebrities on social media, having a great time, smiling. And she's like, you know what? I want to get some of that. I want a piece of that. I no longer want to be unhappy or just contempt or complacent in what I have. I'd like to be able to do the same and perhaps be happy, even if it's me being alone. So there it is. And a fourth person commented, oh, so Corey didn't give enough attention that you wanted, so you divorced him instead of getting therapy? I think she did. I think she reached out to Corey most of the time. She was saying that she's unhappy. He was not there for her emotionally. And she's like, you know what? I would rather go back into these streets, get back on cock carousels if need be, or post pictures and play dress up, get the attention that I have not been getting from my husband, and feel good about myself. Is that the right answer or the right thing that we should be doing? Well, normally I would say, no, that's the wrong answer. But what if that's what you need to get to tomorrow? And just hear me out. There's a lot of people who are depressed, stressed out, self-deleting, doing a whole bunch of negative things, getting dependent on drugs, doing the most, trying to find themselves and be happy. And in finding themselves and being happy, if they've tried everything, then perhaps being in a marriage and being with someone may not be the answer. Maybe the answer is something more deeper than that. Maybe the answer is that you need to figure out what makes you happy, but you find out and understand what does not make you happy or what does not make you feel unsad. So, in my opinion, Corey was not making her happy. She wasn't happy. She wanted to find what would make her happy. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to just cut off everything that doesn't make me happy and search for what possibly could turn this frown upside down. And she's on the way to be single. She's putting herself first. She's being selfish. She's not caring about different phrases such as keeping the kids together. What will the neighbors think? What about family outings? Or what about holidays? No, Tia's like, forget all that. I'm only going to worry about myself. Whatever happens, happens. Yes, and so she served those papers. She served them papers. And she hired the same divorce attorney that Kim Kardashian hired and worked with, Laura, I believe it's Wasser. This is Laura's Instagram. Okay, Instagram. Not bad at all. Laura's got it together. This is her stuff right here. She even has divorce.com where it's just like ink file as far as starting a business. Do you want a basic divorce, divorce plus kids, divorce plus attorney advice? And I'm pretty sure that the divorce lawyer and everybody else was giving her the advice like, hey, you got to put yourself first. You got to pick yourself. And when you figure out what makes you happy in the future, you'll know that this is one thing that was unfortunately making you sad. Yes. So, and she already started to become the alter ego. So the alter ego is like her middle name, Deshawn. And so she dropped the last name. Because if you notice, everybody who's been talking about Tia Mowry, they've called her Tia Mowry, not Tia Hardrick. So in a way, she already kind of was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because I mean, you may have seen it, but I just never saw her use Tia Hardrick. It was always Tia Mowry Hardrick. And, you know, in my opinion, when women hyphenate the name, they got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, it is what it is. And so she says, hi, my name is Tia Deshawn Mowry. My sign is Cancer. And I love to dance. And people said, oh, she dropped the last name. She's back on the market already. She dropped Hardrick already. Tia, wait, I love this for her. And people were talking about her middle name, Deshawn, or maybe it's Deshawn, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but we'll say Deshawn. That they deemed it her alter ego. And in my opinion, she was already working on the alter ego well before she announced the divorce. Already working on it. This is May 22nd of this year, 2022. She was playing around with different hairstyles that she really hadn't rocked while being married. Doing stuff that made her happy, doing stuff that she liked to do and that she wanted to do. And she was rocking hairstyles, including ponytails, box braids, bantu knots. Now, maybe she flirted around with this previously, but in my opinion, May, when she really was getting into these different hairstyles and different looks, different types of pictures on social media that would be deemed not wifely pictures, she was playing around with stuff to see what would make her happy. And that's it. She was even having the hot girl summer, because this was July 12th when she came with this look, the hot girl summer. And you see a lot of women doing stuff like this, where they're like, you know what? I no longer want to have the mom look, no longer want to have the worn out look, no longer want to leave the house without makeup. I want to be happy. I want to feel sexy. I want to put myself first. And hey, more power to her. Now, gentlemen, the reason why we're talking about this is because if you're with a woman and you're starting to notice that she's changing things about her, either she's cheating on you or she's about to leave. And you might say, well, no, what if she wants to just experiment? most of the time when women are with a guy and they like him, they love him, they want to please him, she's going to do a look and ask him what his opinion is. And if he's like, well, I like it, she's going to do more of it. If he says, I don't like it, she probably is not going to really do it anymore. And the reason being is because she's dressing for her man. Now, a lot of us gentlemen, not me, of course, but a lot of you all, you may have gotten with women, and I have in the past, where the woman doesn't really ask you your opinion on looks. She just wears what she wants to wear, does what she wants to do. And it could be that she's dressing for herself, dressing to compete against other women, or maybe she's even dressing for another man. Either way, a woman's look matches her mood. It matches what she wants. It's always an intention with a woman and her looks. Now, if she's looking homely, not fixing herself up, not putting herself together, that, in my opinion, is a sign that she may be depressed. She may be stressed. She may not care, especially if she's not taking care of her hygiene. There could be a whole host of different things that could be a cry for help. And if you want to keep your woman, the best thing you should do is ask, hey, what's going on? Because if you're not asking what's going on, then Tyrone's asking what's going on. And please believe, when he asks what's going on, he's going to be wanting to blow that back out.
And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey.
Yes, yes. And unfortunately, that's what Corey's going through, because unless things are different than what I'm suspecting, he can no longer hit Tia up and be like, hey, let me go ahead and blow that back out right fast. Let me go ahead and lay on my side and slide on in. He can't do that anymore. But he used to be able to. But whatever he was doing, it wasn't enough, because now he's been kicked to the curb. And so Tia, Mowry, and Wendy Raquel, they were partying on the social media streets. You saw them dancing or whatever. Apparently it was because of the family reunion. It's a show on Netflix that Tia Mowry is starring in, including Loretta Devine. I haven't checked it out, but I've heard great things about it. And yeah, so that is it. Putting yourself first, being selfish. Nothing wrong with that. I think this is a good example. It is what it is. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video. Share to your social media. Subscribe. Click the notification bell. Thumb up the video on the way out. Make sure you share it to your YouTube community tab and beyond. My name is CK, also known as Commendable K. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.